All we can say is wow. We ran an NBA playoff special in which the first 99 packages sold were discounted down to $149, and pardon the pun, they sold like hotcakes. Well, NHL fans, do not fret as we are not only matching that offer, but we are actually making it better. Starting Monday, April 25th, the first 99 packages sold using the code PUCK149 will not only get the entire NHL playoffs for only $149, but they will also get the rest of the regular season for free. That means that you can get over 2 months of NHL through the Stanley Cup Finals for under $19 per week. That's paying less than one single play package regularly priced at $25. Do not get shut out as coupon code PUCK149 is good at both WagerTalk and Sports Memo and only will be available for the first 99 packages sold, but you may use this code to purchase more than one NHL playoff package.
Welcome into First Pitch for Tuesday, April 26th. I am Drew Martin, joined by Dave Koken and Steve Merrill. Welcome in the crew here. Dave, number one at WagerTalk, the last 3 years in MLB. Welcome in, Dave. How you feeling?
Just fine. Hanging out with the cat again. He's a little out of camera view right now. There he is. And ready to talk some baseball.
Absolutely. Great to get the analysis. Plus, always like seeing the cat, Could give us some winners today, maybe. We got Steve Merrill as well. Steve, always good to talk with you. Have you on the show. How you feeling today, buddy?
Doing well. I was going to say the cat's favorite team is probably the Tigers. I'm thinking, what are the other cat teams? And that might be the only sport in which there's like only one cat team. I'm dropping right now, quickly thinking, is there another one? Because in the SEC alone, we got the Auburn and LSU Tigers, right? You got a ton of Tigers in the other sports, Panthers, Jaguars. Anyway, I digress. A perfect sweep last night on Monday in NBA and MLB on my best bets. I've got a 3-for-1 special right now, but I only have two best bets tonight because I have a 5% NBA playoff best bet tomorrow on Wednesday, which I loaded nice and early because I want everyone to get on board. It's the first 5% NBA playoff selection I've had. So get the 2 Tuesday best bets, but more importantly, don't miss that 5%er as well. For Wednesday, a 3-for-1 special, Tuesday and Wednesday combined, SteveMerrillWagerTalk.com.
We are talking the Cubs today, Steve. Not sure if that's going to count. We'll see here, though. Seattle Mariners, Tampa Bay Rays.
What do you think a Cub is, Drew Martin? Oh, my goodness. We're going to have a zoological study with you. What do you think a Cub is? Oh, my gosh.
Oh, no, I'm reaching here. A Cub is
I got you. I know what you're going.
Baby
Cub
bear.
Would be a puppy anyway, I think. It's a baby bear. I'm messing with it.
We got the M's and the Rays. First game up here, Dave. Logan Gilbert versus Matt Wisler. Looks like a bullpen day possibly for the Rays. Minus 130 here in the Trop. Total of 7. What do you like in M's and Rays, Dave?
Oh, I like Logan Gilbert, that's for sure. I mean, he is coming on strong. Saw flashes last year that indicate he's going to be a really good pitcher, and certainly nothing to go the other way on so far this season. He's looked very, very sharp, and the Mariners are scoring runs. Whistler will be an opener. He'll go an inning or two. So it's a bullpen game for Tampa, but pretty much nobody does that better than the Rays. I guess I lean Mariners here, though. As long as Gilbert's on this run that he's on, I don't want to go against him. Can definitely see this being a low-scoring game as well. Not on my card, but opinions would be Mariners and the under.
Okay. And Steve, coming to you next, a good one, I guess, starting off the card here, a little happy hour special going before the rest of the group. What are you liking here, M's and Rays?
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of these 6:40 Eastern games, especially in the American League this year. I kind of like that. They stagger them a bit, and this is the one today, Seattle-Tampa. And obviously, Seattle's a team we talked a lot about last year here on the show and some videos I did about how they overachieved, right? But they were not a fade team for me coming in this season because I thought they made some improvements, and they're legitimately a better team now, and they deserve to be a winning team. And they're off to a nice 10-6 start. Actually, a better record than Tampa right now. It's just 9-7. Hard to disagree with the under, as Dave said. It's 7 to the under, but for a reason. Both pitchers have been fantastic so far in limited work this season. Both bullpens have also been fantastic. In fact, they both have exactly a 1.0 whip on the season. So 2 good bullpens, 2 good starters. 2 do-and-die offenses. One of the reasons the Mariners were a lot better than their overall expected one-loss records because they won a lot of close one-run games last year, a lot of low-scoring games to be exact. And on the season, they're averaging only 3 runs, batting 192 on the road. So they still don't have much offense. Tampa's feast or famine. They can, get the big hits, the big home runs. Otherwise, they can struggle to score. So I think if both pitchers are in command tonight, under 7 makes sense, and it's a low total for a good reason.
Good start here, guys. And you check out WagerTalk.com. I got a 5% max limit wager up on this one. Check it out, Drew Martin, WagerTalk.com. We got next game up here, Cubs and Braves. We're heading to Truist Park for actually Greg Maddux bobblehead night here, Steve Merrill. We get Stroman versus Max Fried coming from the left side, commanding a minus 160 price tag, total of 8. First of 3 here in Cobb County. What do you like in Cubs and Braves, Steve?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a Maddux bobblehead. I mean, I still think he's one of the greatest pitchers ever. I mean, when I started my career in the 90s, he was as good as they get as far as command. You know, never threw that fast, low 90s, but unbelievable control. And we'll see if Fried can do his likeness of Greg Maddux tonight. We've talked about Fried on the show last week. You know, he's gotten off to a slow start. He has picked things up a little bit recently. He had the really bad outing to start the season, but I do think he's pitched a little better since. In fact, that 7-inning, no runs allowed, only 2 hits in that last game against the Dodgers on the road. You know, that was obviously a huge step up in class after being mediocre against the Reds and Nationals at home. He pitched his best game, figured it out on the road against the Dodgers. So I think maybe that's the buy sign for Fried. I think it's a focus spot here tonight. And the Cubs, which is a baby bear, do not get the win here, Drew Martin, tonight at Atlanta.
They are a baby bear. They would not technically qualify as a feline. To tell you the truth, I'm not sure, Steve. I don't know if I got that good of grades in the biology or however you would call that. A bear, what would they be, Steve? You seem very confident in this.
I'm not too much better in zoology than you are, but at least I knew what the topic was. I think it's zoology, not biology, but yeah, we'll leave it at that.
All right. Well, Dave, coming to you next, man. Feel free to comment on, I guess, what a baby cub really would qualify as. But actually, the Braves, 7-10 this season, same record as last year when they went on to win the World Series. What do you think of Cubs and Braves?
Cub can be anything. Lions have lion cubs. Tigers have tiger cubs. So,
look at that.
That's true, Drew. I was a little hard on you.
I might have been right.
Logo. The logo's a bear. The logo's a bear. That's the only reason I was making fun.
Well, thanks for that, Dave.
Anyway, as far as this game goes, Fried gave the buy sign last time out. And this guy is one of the best lefties in baseball when he's right. Marcus Stroman, pitch to contact guy, doesn't strike out a lot of people, and when he's not commanding, he can get ripped, as he did last time out. The Braves do have some issues. It's a good thing they've got a lot of depth because Acuna's out. He is probably at least a few weeks from returning. And now Edwin Rosario, who was amazing in the postseason last year, he's going to be out for quite some time. He's got an eye issue, blurred vision, and they sent him for tests. And I don't know exactly what's wrong, but it looks like he's going to be sidelined for quite some time. So that does take away from the offense somewhat. Again, I'm going to – this is the way it goes right now. The under's still doing well. I would look first 5 under in this game. I don't want to lay that big a price with Fried, although I think he's the right side. I think the Stroman should bounce back a little bit, and Fried looks to be back in good form. I think runs could be tough to come by tonight.
Yeah, tough to go against Max Fried here, Dave. I had the Braves circled coming into this, but like you were alluding to, minus 160-ish now is just a little too pricey for me to get involved. Being the home team, didn't want to lay the run line in this one, but we do have one game left. Did want to ask a question to you, Steve, if you got any opinion here, because we're getting a bunch of good guys chiming in below on the reply section on the Wager Talk YouTube channel. And one good question here from Brian, Steve, if you want to get at it first. Great info and analysis, guys. Had a trend or theory I wanted to test that you may want to run by the guys. The theory is more runs are scored and more overs hit on the third or fourth game of the series versus the first game of the series. Visiting hitters maybe getting used to the ballpark and how opposing pitchers are attacking them and can make adjustments. I know you all have busy schedules, but just wanted to ask it out there. Steve, I know you're really good at MLB totals. Do you notice anything like that in the third or the fourth game of the series, actually hitters being better? Also, I remember from the movie Moneyball, in terms of taking pitches. So you're seeing, their 11th and 12th best pitchers by the end of the series rather than some of their best kind of relief pitchers in the beginning of the series. That's just me kind of thinking off the top of my head there, why a trend like that might be involved. But have you noticed that the third and fourth games being higher scoring than the first and second games of the series?
Yeah, it'd be something interesting to ask Ralph Michaels, the human database at WagerTalk.com. Look, if it is the case, the two theories, of course, starting pitching's random. You're not going to always get the ace in game 1 or 2, right? It's, a 4 or 5 day rotation. But the one thing I think you're making a good point about, Drew, is that those are no rest situations, 3 or 4 game series or 3 or 4 straight days, which means the bullpen relievers are going to be unrested more. And then on top of that, you're going to also maybe see guys for a second time. So full game overs, maybe that makes some sense. As far as first fives, I don't think there'd be any difference because you're going to get a different starting pitcher every day. The one constant there, again, is maybe the visiting team gets more comfortable with the ballpark, but I don't really think that's much of an issue. Most of these ballparks are pretty much the same. Sight lines are pretty much the same. They've all played in them. The only thing I could see is maybe unrested relievers, less, heat on their fastballs, and maybe also being more comfortable because you've seen them a game or two earlier.
Okay, good stuff, Steve. And Dave, did you want to comment either side or total on this question, or should we head on to the next game?
Next game.
We got Oakland and San Francisco, the Bay Bridge series here, guys, to end it. Little nightcap for the show. We got Jeffries versus Carlos Rodon coming from the left side, commanding a huge price tag here, minus 275 with a 6.5 as the total. Dave, when I see a low total with that big of a side, man, it is the dog or pass for me. But San Francisco Giants, the hottest team in MLB, winning 4 straight. You like it anything in the Bay Bridge series in San Francisco?
Yeah, the Giants should win the game. I'm not sure why we picked this game. I mean, Rodon's pitching great ball. Oakland stinks, despite the fact they've got about a 500 record. The Giants are justified in being huge favorites here. About the only thing you can say is, well, they're back home off a lengthy trip. But I'm not going against Rodon.
And Steve, what about you, man? You like it anything here, Oakland and San Francisco?
It's a rematch of the Earthquake series, right, Drew Martin? When you were a young lad, when you were a young Cub, one of the craziest things I've ever seen in all sports was the pregame, and was 1989, I believe, when the camera started shaking and Al Michaels hid under his desk. So anyway, I think of that every time I see these teams play. And it's cool that they are playing interleague still. Look, San Fran was a team. We talked about the Mariners earlier, how they played a lot better than their expected one loss. San Francisco actually didn't play better than their expected one loss. They were legitimately one of the best teams in the league last year, but they were only picked to finish third in their own division, end up with as good of a bet record in baseball as anybody. So a lot of people thought they were going to digress a little bit this season, but they haven't. Off to a 12-5 start, like Dave said, they're playing excellent baseball. On the season, they're putting up probably more runs than their batting average would say. They're averaging almost 5 runs a game, but they're only hitting 238 as a team. You look at the Oakland A's are averaging 4 runs, hitting 209 as a team. So I think both teams are maybe due for some unders here in the near future. Oakland's now gone under 2 straight in 5 of their last 7, I believe. Meanwhile, San Francisco's gone under 3 of their last 4. So I do think the offenses are starting to cool off a bit, maybe come back down to earth. And keep in mind, San Francisco, they put up double-digit hits in those first 3 games against Washington. In fact, all 3 games at Washington, but they've had single-digit hits in each of the other 5 games, all 4 against the Mets in this first game against Milwaukee, the one standalone game yesterday. So I think their numbers are a little misleading as they feasting on what's a really bad, my Washington Nationals, a really bad team. The good news is I get some cheap tickets here this summer when I want to head up there and see a game. We'll take under in this one. Under 7 was where it was. We have seen it drop to 6.5 in a lot of locations, which is obviously a very key move. If you can get 7 to the under minus 120, I still see that at South Point. A lot of spots are 6.5, but I like under 7 or more.
Good stuff, Steve. Guys, we got best bets coming up right now, and I guess I could start us off here. I'm going to go on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Plus 153 is the high water mark right now. They're up against the Milwaukee Brewers, one of the earlier start games tonight, the happy hour specials, if you will. A couple reasons why. The Brewers are on a stretch of their 3rd game in 3 different cities. That almost never happens in MLB. A really strange scheduling quirk here. I'm going to try to take advantage of it with the dog, the home dog here in PNC Park. Plus, we get Keller on the hill. He had 7 strikeouts, no walks when he played the Brewers last time. His velocity is up this season, going up against Brandon Woodruff. Look, a great pitcher overall this season. For whatever reason, hasn't been as lights out as past years. I think he's kind of getting overpriced. Plus the fact the later innings, a lot of people thinking the Brewers one of the best bullpens. Actually, out the gate, guys, they're a bottom 10 bullpen by a lot of metrics. And the Pirates bullpen kind of working under the radar here. 3 of their top arms actually going 30 innings with no earned runs. So some of these guys out of the back end of their bullpen really being lights out here. We get a plus 153 price tag, risk 100 to win 153. Big barking dog tonight in PNC Park. I'm riding with the Pirates to start off the card here. Check me out, Drew Martin, WagerTalk.com, 5% up and available. We're going to go to Dave Koken now. Part of the show. Always love his analysis. Check him out at WagerTalk.com as well. Number 1 MLB handicapper over the last 3 seasons. Dave, any final thoughts and what do you got for best bets?
Well, I've been going against the Reds on a regular basis, basically every game, and that's worked out pretty well. Finally lost one on Sunday, but no complaints there. So I'm going to do it again, and I'm looking for the best way to bet this game with Musgrove taking on San Martin. And San Martin has really gotten hit hard first 2 times through the lineup. Musgrove has been very good early on in games. So I think the biggest advantage here is with Musgrove early on in the starting pitching comparison. So I decided to go first 5 innings. This is my free play today. It is a 3% play. Padres first 5, minus a half run, minus 120. San Diego's got some issues. They're off a bad series against the Dodgers. They managed to pull out one game, but wasn't a good series for them. They can't beat the Dodgers. But they stepped way down in class here against a truly awful Reds team. I'll take my chances. First 5, minus a half run with Musgrove against San Martin.
All right, good stuff from Dave Koken. We got Steve Merrill as well. We'll see if he can work in the word Cub one more time on the show. We're taking bets right now. Steve, take it away, man. What do you got for best bets?
Going to look at a free baseball play for Tuesday night that goes at 7 p.m. Eastern, game that was just a bit outside for making the cut, and that's because I have 3 strong best bets, games that are even stronger tonight for both Tuesday and Wednesday. It's a 2-day special, a 3-for-1 special, including my first 5% NBA playoff best bet this season. And we're red hot 2-0 sweep last night in both baseball and basketball. Now I go for a 3-0 sweep in baseball and basketball, including my first 5% of the NBA playoffs. Don't miss it. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com. Free play that was just a bit outside for making the cut tonight because it's 7 Eastern Tuesday. New York Yankees on the run line, minus 1.5, minus 135. As we play against an Orioles team that's in for a long season. This is supposed to be one of the worst teams in baseball. They got to play the majority of their games against 4 playoff caliber teams in their own division, including the Yankees, Rays, Blue Jays, Red Sox. Yet Baltimore is off to a respectable 6-10 start. They were 6-9. They lost by 1 run to the Angels on Sunday. But we're going to look to fade them here. This is a team that's got one of the better ERAs in baseball this season after having the worst ERA all of last year. On the year, they've given up just 3.5 runs a game with a 234 batting average. I don't think that continues. I think it's a false start, and we'll take advantage of it here with the Yankees, who are off to a solid 10-6 start, playing good baseball, especially recently, winning 5 of their last 6 games, and they've won 4 of those 5 by at least 2 runs or more. Good offensive current form. They put up 22 hits, 15 runs in their last 2 games against Cleveland over the weekend, and I think that momentum continues tonight. Underrated Yankees, overrated Orioles, and they win by margin, which gets us the price much cheaper down on the run line, minus 1.5, minus 135. New York Yankees, your free play for Tuesday game that just missed the cut. I've got 3 games that are even stronger, including my first NBA 5% best bet of the playoffs. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
Just a bit outside. Love that, Steve. You see it there. Yankees, minus 1.5, minus 135. I'm on the Pirates, big dog, plus 153. And Koken on Padres, first 5, minus that half a run, minus 120. For Steve Merrill, 5% up at WagerTalk.com, as do I. Dave is up and available as well. Check us all out at WagerTalk.com. For Steve, Dave, I am Drew. Guys, tomorrow, same time, same place. Come back and join us. Please smash that like button. Feel free to reply below. And best of luck with your bets if you're tailing. Talk tomorrow, guys. Best of luck.
Tuesdays is known as $2 Tuesdays at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com, where you can get the hottest handicappers' best bet or daily package for only $2.